Hi there, thanks for joining us. I'm Adrian at Kingston and you're watching Jamaica Magazine. We have lots of informative features lined up just for you today. Among them, Prime Minister Andrew Holness's trip to China. Stay with us, it all unfolds right now.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, November 12. Jamaica and China are currently working on an air services agreement which is expected to open up trade and people-to-people exchange. In an interview with JIS News following his 8-day official working visit to China recently, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the trip marked a new phase of Jamaica-China relationship. With a new focus on trade, Mr. Holness says Jamaican coffee and live lobsters are being exported to China, with possible expansion into other areas.
The Chinese market is huge. China possibly now has the largest middle-class market in the world. So our opportunities here are significant, particularly in tourism. And so we have started the work on ensuring that we can have airlift capacity.
During his assignment in China, Mr. Holness participated in the second China International Import Exposition. He also met with President Xi Jinping and municipal leaders to discuss increasing Jamaica-China partnership. The parties discussed the use of technology to build climate change resilience in energy, agriculture and water. Health and wellness, light manufacturing, education, sport and culture were also explored. The success of the country's economic reform program, ERP, has been credited to the broad-based stakeholder commitment and ownership of the reforms. The review comes from former International Monetary Fund IMF Mission Chief for Jamaica, Dr. Uma Ramakrishnan. She was addressing journalists during a video conference yesterday.
The ownership that we have seen across administrations through an election cycle where things went so smoothly, like as if nothing changed, and where the commitment to retain the policy discipline, especially on the fiscal side, was something that for everyone to take note of and to take on board as a lesson.
Other lessons, according to Dr. Ramakrishnan, are the social consensus and support for the reforms that are evident through the Economic Program Oversight Committee (EPOC) and more difficult decisions such as pension reform and direct and indirect tax shifting, among others.
So, it is a story of the country coming together behind these reforms to make sure that the economic policy is sustained and the fiscal policy is, is put in a path that is sustainable for the future.
Jamaica concluded its $1.7 billion six-year precautionary standby arrangement with the IMF on November 10. That engagement also included the precursory $932 million extended fund facility. In other news, $30 million will be spent to repair sections of the road network in Portland. Tom's Hope Road, Back Road and Rural Hill are among the list of roads selected for upgrading. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie made the announcement on Friday during a tour of parochial roads in the parish.
We are going to be doing a major parochial road by the name Rural Hill. That road is critical to this part of the island because that road, although it is a municipal road, it is the access road that gets you in and out of Port Antonio in case there's a problem on the major road. That is a major access road.
Minister McKenzie said the road repairs in the parish will be conducted in several phases, with the first to be completed in 2019-2020. Phase 2 of the program is to start during the 2020-2021 financial year. The minister was accompanied by a technical team from the ministry, political representatives in the parish, as well as personnel from the Portland Municipal Corporation. And still in Portland, local government minister Desmond McKenzie broke ground on Friday for the first of 2 water shops. The facilities will be built at a cost of approximately $19.5 million. The parish is the latest to benefit under the government's initiative to construct water shops as a means of improving access to the commodity in drought-affected communities across Jamaica.
What this water shop will do, we're going to be putting down facility to house 20,000 gallons of water that will be provided free of cost to the community. The construction is expected to commence shortly and will last about 2 months.
One of the water shops is to be constructed in the community of Commodore, benefiting more than 1,000 residents. An announcement will be made at a later date as to the location of the other facility. The water shop is expected to be fully operational by February 2020. Jamaica will soon have its very own platform to securely share information between government entities and certain approved private sector bodies. Dubbed the Jamaica Data Exchange Platform, this system will provide a standardized and secure way to access government services online. It's being created and will be managed by eGov Jamaica Limited. eGov's CEO Maurice Barnes says the platform will be similar to Estonia's X-Road.
When our data protection law takes effect, the platform will also facilitate that particular act, in that it will be able to monitor who has access to what data and to ensure that only persons who are authorized to access data can access data. If there are any breaches, those things can be detected on this particular platform. So it's something that we're working on. It's fully homegrown, and we, certainly before the end of the financial year, we'll have a version of it.
Mr. Barnes says eGov is also embarking on a once-only policy, which would allow for the seamless sharing of information between government entities.
When you do business with the government, the information that you give to one entity, you'll not be required to be able to give that to each and every entity multiple times.
And finally, Cabinet has given approval for the Tobacco Industry Regulations Act to be repealed. Minister without portfolio with responsibility for information, Carl Samuda, says the decision is as a result of the closure of the Tobacco Industry Control Authority.
With the repeal of the Act, Jamaica will be one step closer to full compliance with the obligations under the Convention. The real purpose of the Act is to promote the interests of the tobacco industry in Jamaica by assisting in its development and by promoting the welfare of persons engaged in the tobacco industry.
Mr. Samuda was speaking at last Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing. He noted that in 1983, Jamaica ratified the World Health Organization WHO Framework of Cooperation on Tobacco Control. The country is also party to the WHO's Framework Convention on Tobacco since July 2005. And that's it for JI's News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
Next, the latest happenings out of the office of the Prime Minister.
A very fruitful journey here, and the marking of a new phase of Jamaica-China relationship.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness as he capped off his first official working visit to the People's Republic of China. The November 1 to 9 assignment saw the Prime Minister engaging in bilateral talks with Chinese dignitaries, including President Xi Jinping. Investment opportunities in Jamaica were also shared with the country's diaspora during the visit. Catch highlights of Mr. Holness's visit in this week's Jamaica House Weekly. Prime Minister Andrew Holness arrived in Shanghai, China on Sunday to a warm welcome. His first point of contact was with the Jamaican diaspora in the Asian country.
Our presence here today is not about getting more debt. Right? That we cannot go back to that strategy. Our presence here today is about attracting investments into Jamaica and opening up markets for Jamaican goods into China.
Mr. Holness used the meeting to share investment opportunities on the island. On Monday, the Prime Minister toured the Yangshan port, the largest container port in the world. The Yangshan port Phase 4 is also 100% automated. Mr. Holness said the tour facilitated the acquisition of best practices that can be implemented as the island builds out its port and logistics operations. Monday also saw the Prime Minister meeting with Shanghai's Mayor Ying Yang. The two discussed ways to strengthen the Jamaica-China relationship, including through people-to-people exchange. Prime Minister Holness held bilateral talks with President of China Xi Jinping on Monday. Those talks included a review of Jamaica's current cooperation framework with China. They also explored additional areas of cooperation agreed upon under a new strategic framework. Among the areas are trade in goods and services, investments, education, health, sport, culture, and increasing the use of technology to build climate change resilience.
Jamaica is open for your business. My government's vision is to establish Jamaica as the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and most important, to do business.
Prime Minister Holness as he called for more Chinese investments on the island. He said several sectors including infrastructure, logistics, transport, mining and financial services were ripe for investments. As he addressed Tuesday's opening session of the second China International Exposition, Mr. Holness revealed that Jamaica benefits from 16 registered Chinese companies. These companies, he says, have invested $3 billion into the Jamaican economy. Mr. Holness also called for greater partnerships with China in technology and innovation to increase the island's resilience and sustainability challenges.
And we are excited to explore with your country the possibilities of pairing Jamaican minds and aspirations with Chinese experience and know-how in areas such as renewable energy, water security, agriculture, healthcare, and STEM education.
The Prime Minister also gave President Xi a personal tour of Jamaica's pavilion at the China Import Expo. While in Shanghai, the Prime Minister toured the city's museum. Mr. Holness also toured the International Table Tennis Federation Museum and got a chance to play one of his favorite sports. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Holness hopped over to Shenzhen, Hong Kong's link to mainland China. Mr. Holness used the opportunity to meet with the modern metropolis's municipal leaders and toured the city's museum. Thursday saw the Prime Minister also touring the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, the world's longest sea crossing. He also visited the Hengqin New Area, China's newest special economic district. In Beijing Friday, Mr. Holness participated in a floral tribute at the Monument of the People's Heroes in Tiananmen Square. Jamaica and China also signed a new cooperation agreement during Prime Minister Andrew Holness's bilateral meeting with Premier Li Keqiang. Mr. Holness also used Friday to tour Beijing's Palace Museum. And on Saturday, he climbed the Great Wall of China. He also toured and met with a delegation at China Communications Construction Company, the parent company of Czech.
This was a very successful visit. It has placed Jamaica once again on the international stage. We were well covered locally in the Chinese press. The arrangements for us here were excellent. The reception, the hospitality was spectacular. And I believe that this visit would be very beneficial to the Jamaican people.
While he was on official duty, Prime Minister Holness issued condolences to the families of several Jamaican stalwarts who transitioned this past week. On Tuesday, he remembered veteran filmmaker Franklin Chappie St. Just as the consummate professional who had a passion for his craft. Former Jamaican Olympian Michael Frey was remembered Wednesday for representing the country with distinction at the 1968 and 1972 Olympic Games. And former Industry and Commerce Minister Douglas Vaz was also remembered. The Prime Minister said Vaz served the island and the Jamaica Labour Party well. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us again next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
It is almost a year since the ban on single-use plastics took effect. Jamaicans across the country can be seen shopping with their reusable bags. On the other end, some persons are still not used to using paper straws. The truth is, the ban has helped to reduce harm to the environment and, in time, will assist to reverse negative climatic conditions. Up next, the importance of proper waste management.
The Palisades Strip is where a lot of the garbage that is discarded in the gullies, the streets, the drains of Kingston ends up. So there's a heavy rainfall and it floats across the harbour and it winds up on the Palisades Strip. So every year, this strip is where we're getting tons and tons of garbage. So, it's really an important site for raising awareness of what's happening in the streets of Kingston.
My incentive really is to get to a point where our behaviors are changed at the source so that plastics don't end up on the beach in the first place. So really I want to see those volumes go down because our practices have become healthier and cleaner as a people, so that throughout the year, it's not just one day we come in and clean up the beach, but throughout the year our beaches are kept clean. And if we sell in our brochures Paradise, which is basically powder white sand beaches, sunshine year round, turquoise blue waters, crystal clear as well, cascading waterfalls, those are all the things that we sell. And in any kind of service industry, you're supposed to exceed your customers' expectations. That means when your customers come and experience it, the last thing you want to do is have them see garbage on those natural blessings that we receive.
Every year, we have groups coming to us, wow, you will never guess what I found. Like they find a mannequin. Somebody told me they found an iron, and it's all like a huge surprise to some people. And, it's often the first time people are really seeing face to face where this garbage is going and what kind of garbage is in the environment. You name it. If it doesn't break down in the environment naturally, we're going to find it on International Coastal Cleanup Day.
I think it's very positive from a branding standpoint. The fact that we are so socially responsible, so environmentally responsible as a nation, I believe that's very positive for our brand for tourism.
From my perspective, I think it's actually a good thing because when you're passing the garrisons and the gullies, you see a lot of plastics in the gutter and styrofoam. So I think it's a good move.
This comes like something that I would always want. Yes, I don't believe in plastic. I believe in preserving the ozone layer. We have to reduce carbon footprint and keep Jamaica green.
We buy our bags, or more than one use bags from the supermarket. Some of them weak, but we still, use them because they're biodegradable. You understand? So I support it 100%. Just not dirty up Jamaica. We need to set a different mindset, We need to have a different mindset as it relates to Jamaica and cleaning Jamaica. If you go to other countries, developing and developed countries, they manage their trash fairly well, especially like the coastlines and the beaches and so on, because they're disciplined, right? And Jamaica need to break that mentality of they're not being watched, so just throw the garbage somewhere, somebody's gonna clean it up.
Managing quite well. However, when you're hungry and need to get something in the supermarket, you have to carry it in your hand.
Well, it was hard at first. We always knew we wanted to reduce our intake of plastics, but actually having to do it, I'm not going to lie, it has been a challenge, but it's a worthwhile one. So I only use paper straws. I have my recyclable bottles, so I buy water by the 5-gallon and I go and refill it. So I try to reduce plastic as much as possible.
It was rough at first, but I've been getting accustomed to it, using the paper bags, going to the supermarket or ordering from a restaurant. But yeah, I'm glad the ban, it seems to be going quite well in a sense. People are getting accustomed to seeing more paper bags being used and the place is being cleaned more.
The millennials more so than the non-millennials. So yeah, I think the millennials are more conscious of what is going on around us with the not only the oceans but the climate as well. So I think we've grown up always hearing, oh, that polar ice caps are melting and so forth and so forth. So we know of the dangers of our environments and what's happening.
On campus, we have recycling bins and so forth. So we do try to recycle, but it's not the norm. It's something that it's still taboo. So only a few people really do recycle. So you have recycling bins here and then general disposal, and you still have persons throwing plastic bottles in there. So it's something that we're still not practicing as yet, and it's important that we do.
We need to translate it from beach cleanup to not dotting up Jamaica. It's not just about cleaning up the beach, you know, it's about managing our garbage all year round in a better way. Next year, we're hoping that we'll see an even further reduction in the amount of garbage that we're picking up, because we're having the deposit refund scheme for plastic bottles coming, and the styrofoam as well will also, you know, be out of the picture. So we're really looking forward to a day when ICC is not necessary anymore. We're not there yet, but you know, as we take these steps as a nation, you know, to raise awareness, to improve legislation and regulations as it relates to solid waste, you know, we're hoping that that really does make a change.
As you just saw, it is Geography Awareness Week, a period when land management experts bring to the fore the connection between man and the environment. Coming up, a group of students from the University of Technology speak on the significance of civil engineering in achieving developed nation status.
We are on the cusp of a new era in science, energy, and technology, and engineers are important stakeholders in this journey.
Government is encouraging more Jamaicans to pursue academic studies and careers in STEM areas such as engineering. Engineering has been around for ages, but the profession could not have been more relevant to society.
Engineers don't just work with machines, designs, and electronics. They use maths and science to provide innovation and inventions that shape our society and improve the way we live and work.
The field of engineering can be broken down into 6 main categories, the oldest and most popular of which is civil engineering. Civil engineers design and construct large structures such as roads, buildings, airports, and bridges. Just take a look around. It is undeniable that civil engineers play an integral role in society, and as such, more universities are offering programs that will equip students with the skills and knowledge they need to meet the increasingly sophisticated engineering demands of clients. One such program is the recently accredited bachelor's degree in civil engineering at the University of Technology. The 4-year program not only imparts basic engineering knowledge, but it also allows students to specialize in their desired civil engineering fields.
At the end of the program, their final year, they can specialize. So they can specialize in structural engineering, transportation engineering, environmental engineering, construction engineering.
The students are also given a final year investigative group project, whereby they present their findings and solutions to heads of the department and members of the wider construction sector.
We had persons from the group or groups that came out ahead of others. So we had first place and the second place. We also had a third place. We just recognized persons for doing well.
Let's learn about some of the outstanding final year projects that were produced by some of this year's top students.
Hi, my name is Chanel Roy, and my group members and I were given the task to design a hospital and epidemiology center to be placed in Western Jamaica.
So the approach that we took was to design a radial ward that comprised of 4 wards, of course,
to ensure that we have maximum capacity. So on Ward A, we have maternity. On Ward B, we have neonatal. On Ward C, we have physical therapy. These are just some of the services on each of the wards. Of course, it's a 5-floor hospital, and we have an underground basement as well for medical equipment and medical vehicles. As it relates to structural engineering work, we design a composite slab using steel mainframe reinforcements. We designed for earthquake loading. We did our sustainable drainage design. We utilized our mixed design knowledge as it relates to designing porous concrete of various layers, subgrades and layers, etc., to ensure that we have an efficient and sustainable system.
Hello, my name is Justina Gill. My group members and I designed a football stadium and complex to host a football tournament. For the stadium, we designed 3 tiers, which is basically 3 levels for the spectators, which are 60,000 spectators, which we designed for them to see. The sports facility that was designed for including facilities such as a netball court, a basketball court, swimming area. We looked at some issues at the current National Stadium and also the Trelawney Multipurpose Stadium, and we said, why not design something with more seating capacity to be able to accommodate more people and to have some special features so we can have international people to come and support.
Did you know that in 2010, the United Nations declared the access to safe, adequate, and clean drinking water a human right? My name is Sharifa Cohen, and my team and I designed a water treatment facility and pipe network to supply Negril and its environs using the Cabarito River as source. So our treatment plant is a traditional filtration plant, but one, I always tell people, it cannot be contemporary if it's not sustainable. So our treatment plant aims to be closed-looped in that it uses indigenous material such as bamboo and coconut husks, and it also recycles the waste from the plant so as not to pollute the environment further. It has a concrete gravity dam that has a reservoir behind it that will store the 15 million gallons a day that we deduce that the town would require. So with refinement, we hope that we can propose this to the government.
I am Giovanni Walker, and my group and I designed a model for the relocation of the residents of the Almantown community. As you might know, the government has a overzone project, which is a plan to have the ministries in a centralized location. So with that being said, this plan will effectively remove 40 acres of the 50-acre site surrounding the National Heroes Park. And for that reason, the many commercial or residential buildings surrounding the park will have to be demolished, and Almantown falls into residential category. So my group mates and I decided that we will propose a solution for this very relevant issue. So we have decided to use 7 apartment buildings to relocate approximately 1,260 residents based on the statistics of a survey that was conducted. Our proposed relocation site is an approximately 86,000 square meter area plan at Upper Camp. We decided to use that site because it falls within a 5-mile radius so as not to greatly exaggerate the livelihood of the residents of the Almantown region.
So there you have it. It's evident that these students are on the right path to becoming outstanding civil engineers in the near future. If you're a high school student who is considering a career in civil engineering, then the Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering at the University of Technology is definitely a viable option. Here is what you need.
5 CSEC subjects and 6 units from CAPE. 2 units in mathematics, pure mathematics usually, 2 units in physics, and 2 units in something that is related, modules or subjects that are related to the sciences.
We've come to the end of the show, but only for today. Do catch us again tomorrow on this station. Here's a reminder to send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at gis.gov.jm. You may also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.